Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from the Better Business Bureau here in Wisconsin. A new friend to the show. We have Lisa Schiller. Lisa, welcome to Talking Fitchburg. How are you doing today?
It's good to be here. Thank you so much. I'm doing well.
For folks who may not know you, first time on the show, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with the Better Business Bureau.
Sure. Well, I've been with the BBB. This is actually my 15th year this March, and I am the Senior Director of Investigations and Media Relations. And so, in that role, I investigate businesses. I check all the closed complaints on a weekly basis, decide what to do with them. Should I open an investigation? Is this something that I should get to the media and get out to the public? Or is it something that I should refer to one of our partners, with the state or law enforcement? And then also, I work with the media on a regular basis, like I am doing with you right now, to try to get the word out to others.
Well, we're excited to have you and appreciate your time and BBB helping us out all these years. And hopefully, we're helping and getting the message out. And you're kicking off with a fun one. My favorites of the year from Department of Ag Trade Consumer Protection and yourselves is your top 10. So, we're going to talk about top 10 scams in Wisconsin. And just as a whole, Lisa, did anything surprise you this year that hit the top 10?
You know, um, Online shopping was the number one, and that did not surprise me at all. I felt it that it was going to be number one because one of the things that I do is check our BBB scam tracker, where consumers can report to our online portal scams and fraud that they're seeing, that they're hearing about, whether or not they've been a victim. And I see online shopping scams reported all day, every day. So I knew that that was number one. I would say that sweepstakes, lottery, and prizes was number 10. I was a little bit surprised at that. I thought that might have been maybe seven or eight. Credit cards was in at number seven. That surprised me a little bit. I don't seem to think that I see a lot of credit card scams reported, but sometimes people don't know which category to put the scam in. So sometimes, that can play a little bit of a factor, and we can kind of change that around a little bit, but sometimes things will slip through a little bit. But I will say this, our top three scams, online shopping, number one, phishing, number two, and employment scams at number three, represented 80% of all scam reports that we received with loss. So that I will say was surprising. I mean, that's, large. I mean, everything else kind of falls a little bit to the wayside compared to those top three with that kind of a statistic.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting there that makes up the most of it. Let's from top three down then, and the employment scams. What would be some things that you see come across your desk that are reported as employment scams?
Yeah, well, employment scams has been really big since COVID. I mean, COVID changed everything, right? People were working remotely, they were losing their jobs, they were quitting their jobs, they were retiring early, they were changing course, going a different route in their careers. We saw a lot of changes, and especially like I just said, a lot of that remote work. And because of that, scammers saw an opportunity to capitalize on that, and they did. They were successful, and so they are continuing with the employment scams. So that scam had a high median dollar loss of $1,170, which was more than online purchase scams at about $60, or even phishing scams at $250. Employment scams are often initiated via text or internet messaging, sometimes email, sometimes phone calls. And that's where we're seeing consumers reporting that they're receiving opportunities for employment, offers of employment, or offers to do an interview and connect about a particular job. And, a lot of times, these people will report that they weren't even actively looking for employment, but they received this fantastic offer. And so they were, curious or interested, or, wanted to move forward with finding out more about it. And that's kind of where you get in trouble because, then all of a sudden, you're talking to somebody you don't know via email or text or, phone. Usually via text, we see a lot in these employment scams, believe it or not. And I think the most dangerous thing about employment scams is that they always involve the con artist asking for personal information and financial information because of course you have to get paid and they want to pay you via direct deposit, so they need your banking account numbers. A lot of times in these employment scams we'll see the con artist asking for a photocopy of of your driver's license, and then of course all the personal information that they say they need that people don't question because it's an supposedly employment. And that is, your name, your social security number, date of birth, address, all of that personal information. So can be a very dangerous one. Once your information is out there, you're a prime suspect for identity theft. And, you don't want to get caught up in that.
It's very interesting that you said that they weren't actually looking for the job, that it came across like, oh, this is like too good to be true. Like, my goodness. And so that's very fascinating that took place. On the phishing scam side of things, I feel like there's just so many of them all the time that it's just surprising to me. But maybe a better way to look at it is people reported them. So maybe it's a good thing, right?
Well, we love when people take time to report, and that's always one of my biggest messages when I go out into the communities and do presentations to groups. Or I talk to media, I'm like, please take time to report because it's so helpful. I mean, it helps us to know what's going on. Then we can, start looking at our data. We can get the information out to warn others so that they don't become victims. But yeah, phishing scams is a big problem. And, it really encompasses, so many different companies. I mean, I'd say probably most often with phishing, we see people reporting that they received an email from, what they thought to be their bank or their credit card. And, phishing is easy because scammers can take logos and they can steal, copy from different websites and, just copy and paste. So it's very easy to steal that information and, make their email or their website or whatever it is look completely legitimate when in fact it is not. And so that's really the danger with those phishing scams. Aside from scammers purporting to be your bank or your credit card company, we see, scammers pretending to be anything and everything. Well-known companies. I saw one come across BBB Scam Tracker this week, purporting to be Best Buy. Somebody was reporting. They'll pretend to be your local police department. They'll even fish our name and pretend to be the Better Business Bureau and contact businesses saying, we have to verify your information or you received a complaint, and then, try to engage there. So phishing scams continue to be successful. And so, yeah, have to be very vigilant and on top of things.
Yeah, yeah. It feels hard to like just trust anything, when you're looking out there what you're receiving. So, I guess peeling back a little bit and just like stop and think before you act, so important. But I love the idea too of reporting. We try to repeat that over and over again, but it's so important. You don't, certainly you don't want anybody else to get scammed out of anything, but it's also a good way for you guys to know what scams are actively out there. As you mentioned, maybe there's a Best Buy going around right now. If you report it, others may not get in trouble, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the phishing scams, like the DMV, people are, scammers are purporting to be the Department of Motor Vehicles, or Amazon. They need to verify your information, so they'll text you, and then people go. I mean, who's not ordering from Amazon these days? People will go, oh gosh, they need to verify my address, or they need more information. And then they click on a link and, who knows where their information ends up. So very important to, first of all, ignore unsolicited messages. If something raises a red flag, there's pressure in that message or urgency or a threat of some sort, or, it just kind of raises a red flag and you go, I don't think I've ordered anything in the last few weeks, from online or from Amazon. Take a step back and really review it. And then, of course, don't click on any links, don't download any attachments. Don't provide any personal information to anybody that you don't know or financial information. And then, just stop and verify all requests by contacting that company directly. I know I do it in my own personal life. I've received what looks like a valid email from my credit card company, from my bank, and I'll just pick up the phone and call them directly just to verify it, just to give myself a peace of mind. And, plus they're really grateful to hear from their customers, and they'll usually have information they can share with you. And they might even ask you to send a copy of that particular email, or, take a screenshot or something and send it to them, because, it helps their ongoing investigation with their IT departments.
Lisa, this has been great information. I could pick your brain all day long, but unfortunately, they tell me I can't do that. So, and you've got work to be done. So, if people want to learn more about the top 10 scam lists, or just in general, just stay up on what's going on at BBB or to report, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can go right to bbb.org. They can go to bbb.org/scam tracker. And, they will get some type of a response, probably within 48 hours.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much. Again, we're so happy to have you, and we look forward to many more updates from you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.